Can you just elaborate a little bit on why raising the minimum wage is so important?
I think Taiwan's minimum wage, as compared to the cost of living, is actually quite low. If we use Numbeo, the online crowdsourcing website that allows people to input the cost of living in their countries. And if we compare it with the minimum wages of the various countries, you can see that Taiwan's minimum wage is actually vastly inadequate for its cost of living. One of the key issues is that housing costs in Taiwan is very high. In fact, Taiwan's housing prices are one of the highest in the world, even though its minimum wage, as compared to the other advanced countries, is still one of the lowest and as low as other Eastern European countries. So when we look at it as a whole, Taiwan's minimum wage is actually inadequate.
How do the government officials get together to determine Taiwan's minimum wage?
I think the discussion now is also focused on how much profits businesses are earning in the last year and whether they are able to handle the increases in the minimum wage. I think Taiwan could be looking at the problem slightly misguided though. If we look at the minimum wage increase over the last 20 years or so and compare it with the domestic consumption in Taiwan, you can see that due to the slower and the stagnant minimum wage increase in Taiwan, it has also resulted in the domestic consumption stagnating. What this means is that it will then impact on the profits of domestic businesses. And the businesses of Taiwan are therefore not able to see their profits grow as fast due to the depression of the minimum wage. Because we also need to look at whether the minimum wage is adequate for the cost of living. I would argue that this is a key metric to look at because once you're able to ensure that the minimum wage is able to satisfy the cost of living in the country, then what this means is that people are able to spend adequately to support the domestic businesses.
How is Taiwan's minimum wage compared to other developed countries in the region?
If you look at Taiwan's minimum wage, it is about 25,250 dollars now, as compared to South Korea. Their minimum wage based on the currency exchange rate is about close to 50,000. I think it's about 48,000 at this point. And in Japan, it is about 40,000 odd as well. So, of course, if you compare with the cost of living, their cost of living is higher than Taiwan. But if you look at their minimum wage is nearly twice as high as Taiwan, but their cost of living is not twice as high on average. In fact, Taiwan's grocery prices are uh, as expensive as South Korea and Japan, and Taiwan's grocery prices are based on Numbeo are one of the most expensive in the world. Its housing prices are also on par with Japan and South Korea, and one of the highest in the world as well.